Hello students, welcome back to UPSC Jugaad once again. We are back with Kaise Series and today we would be dealing with a new topic, that is rarest of all human qualities is consistency. This is a topic that has been selected by us. There are various quotes and it would be a surprise for you in the exam. So we've come up with a quote on our own and we would be discussing in today's lecture the rarest of all the human qualities is consistency. So we have already seen the anatomy of an essay. You have to write an introduction that hooks up the reader or the evaluator. Then you have to go back to the essay statement, then multi-dimensional body with antithesis. Your antithesis shouldn't overpower your thesis. Then the synthesis, that is balance or madhya marg, and a proper conclusion, right? So let's proceed. These are the various dimensions. This is our essay topic for today. Let us begin. So here in the introduction, I have chosen Bruce Lee's example. In the world of martial arts and on the silver screen, there was a man who embodied a level of consistency that bordered on the miraculous. This man who didn't need 1,000 moves but rather practiced one move 1,000 times. As we know, Bruce Lee could catch a rice grain with the help of chopsticks. So he practiced a few moves consistently rather than practice several moves a few times. So this is the power of consistency. So we see that ब्रूस ली ने ब्रेड्थ ऑफ मूव्स पे नहीं फोकस करा था, उन्होंने डेप्थ पर फोकस करा था, राइट? सो ही सेज दैट एक मूव मैंने 1,000 टाइम्स प्रैक्टिस करा है, राइट? So Bruce Lee's life is a testament to the fact that consistency truly is one of the rarest and most extraordinary human qualities, because we tend to give up when we don't see the results quickly. आज का ज़माना है क्विक ग्रेटिफिकेशन का. Nobody wants to work hard. Everyone wants a quick success. So we've discussed the introduction. You can pause the video and read that. So what is consistency? Consistency means doing the same thing or following a particular pattern or behavior regularly and predictably. It is like having a routine or sticking to a plan without making a sudden or frequent changes. Think of it as being dependable or reliable in your actions and decisions. In the context of individuals, consistency means that a person tends to think, act and make choice in a steady and predictable manner. For example, अगर कोई वर्क हैबिट्स के साथ कंसिस्टेंट है तो एवरी टाइम दे वुड शो अप ऑन द जॉब, दे वुड टेक अ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एंड डू देयर वर्क डेडिकेटेडली. सो और जैसे पर्सनल रिलेशनशिप्स में अगर कोई भी फ्रेंड आपके साथ कंसिस्टेंट है तो ही वुड लिसन टू यू, ऑलवेज सपोर्ट यू एंड वुड नेवर जज यू फॉर योर एक्शंस बट प्रोवाइड अ पॉजिटिव क्रिटिसिज्म. So it makes him or her trustworthy, and this is how stabilizes the relationship. Now in the organizations, consistency refers to the ability to maintain uniformity and reliability in their operations. For example, आप Volvo ले लो तो वो company is consistently providing safety measures, और Tata Automobile consistent efforts for ensuring safety in the vehicle, and it has got NCAP 5-star ratings. So एक स्टैंडर्ड मेंटेन करते हैं ये लोग. सो दे आर कंसिस्टेंट इन देयर सर्विसेज और प्रोडक्ट्स. जैसे एप्पल का एग्जाम्पल लिख सकते हैं आप. इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ नेशन लाइक इंडिया, consistency can be seen in the various aspects: political and legal stability. For example, in politics and governance, Consistency involves being stable and fair elections, citizen-centric governance, and legal system where laws and policies are applied consistently. That is why India is known as a lotus in the mud. क्योंकि as we see, it has been really successful democracy in South Asia, and we can see failing democracies all around us. Consistency in individuals, organization and nation involves acting or behaving predictability. So consistency से predictability आता है कोई भी move में, stability एंड स्टैंडर्ड्स एंड वैल्यूज़ आता है, जैसे हम लोग ने डिस्कस किया. तो ये ट्रस्ट बिल्ड करता है, रिलायबिलिटी बिल्ड करता है, सिक्योरिटी बिल्ड करता है, विच आर एसेंशियल फॉर पर्सनल एंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल एंड नेशनल सक्सेस. नाउ इंडिविजुअल एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल डेली लाइफ में स्मॉल गोल्स लाइक गेटिंग अप अर्ली, हम 2 दिन उठते हैं, तीसरे दिन में सो जाता है, या मेडिटेटिंग कंटिन्यूसली फॉर लेस स्ट्रेस, और अचीविंग करियर एंड पर्सनल सक्सेस में भी कंसिस्टेंट बिहेवियर बहुत नेसेसरी है. जैसे यूपीएससी के एग्ज़ाम में कंसिस्टेंसी बहुत नेसेसरी है, राइट. वेट लॉस में कंसिस्टेंसी वेरी नेसेसरी, बिकॉज जिम, डाइट, एक्सरसाइज तीनों का बैलेंस चाहिए, बहुत लोग नहीं कर पाते हैं. देन मेकिंग कंसिस्टेंट एफर्ट्स इन अ रिलेशनशिप लीड टू लेसर डिवोर्स. सो यू नीड टू मेक एन एफर्ट in your relationships. So contemporary problems of Western world like divorce, breakups are very frequent these days. So you can master the most difficult task through consistency. For example, Arjun practiced archery in Drona's Gurukul day in and day out and could even aim for a bird's eye. And you can include movies also. मूवी इंक्लूड करने से ऐसे होगा कि आपका अवेयरनेस का पता चलता है, एंड जो कि आपके ऐसे को डाइवर्सिटी प्रोवाइड करता है, रादर देन स्टिकिंग टू दोज मोनोटोनस एग्जाम्पल्स. थोड़ा सा हट के एक एलिमेंट रहता है इसमें, राइट. सो मूवी ऊंचाई में there is a group of senior citizens and they made a trek to Everest Base Camp. So they had to relentlessly practice each day. This is a very impossible task for even young people, but they made it happen. So consistency से और क्या होगा कि consistent hard work beats talent. Like you can give the example of Edison कि उन्होंने बहुत बार बल्ब बनाया, and his teachers also said कि he was good for nothing, and he failed 1,000 times before lighting the whole world. Then you can give the example of Michael Jordan, जिन्होंने बहुत ज़्यादा प्रैक्टिस करा अपना बास्केटबॉल गेम. He was out from his team, and rather than giving up, he used the setback as a motivation to work hard and hone his skills. So eventually become a 6-time NBA champion. And then similar to MS Dhoni, who failed many times and got a break at the age of 25. Importance of consistency. Then a planned idiot is better than an unplanned genius. So consistency is a plan, right? So एक एग्ज़ाम है, कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्ज़ाम, जहाँ पे कोई स्टूडेंट है who's very normal but consistently hard working. जैसे यूपीएससी में ही एग्जाम्पल ले लिए जी, many students from premier institutes fail to crack UPSC rather than a common person. Is successful काफ़ी बार because of the difference, that is consistency. Consistency makes us reach the impossible. So UNSC का नॉन परमानेंट मेंबरशिप के लिए where India garnered support from majority of nations. Or you can take an example of Usain Bolt. So he says, I trained for 4 years to run 9 seconds, and people give up when they don't see results in 2 months. Then organizations like Barefoot College have consistently training rural women as a solar engineer and healthcare workers. They have improved the access of all these things in many villages. NGOs like बचपन बचाओ आंदोलन by कैलाश सत्यार्थी, fighting child labor. Then we'll come to spirituality. अब यहाँ पे भी आप बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल्स दे सकते हैं. We've written 3 examples for you. जैसे बिना मेहनत के तो भगवान भी नहीं मिलता. As we know, our seniors or elder people have said this. So Buddha never gave up on his meditative state even after Mara tried to distract him nastily. So Mara उसका एक डिपिक्शन है. देन ऑटोबायोग्राफी ऑफ अ योगी में आप देखते हैं उनकी जर्नी, वे ही कंसिस्टेंटली हैज़ अ क्वेस्ट फॉर स्पिरिचुअलिटी. यू कैन जस्ट मेंशन द नेम्स एंड इवन वन सेंटेंस वुड बी इनफ, राइट? बिकॉज आप वैसे ही बहुत सारे वैल्यू लोडेड एग्जाम्पल्स दे रहे हैं, तो आई थिंक योर इवैल्यूएटर शुड बी इम्प्रेस्ड. And mind well, these are very originally written essays. Ravan did his tap or sadhana and Shiva gave him his powers. Now importance of consistency, like building habits. Now to give a new variety or to be different from the other people in the exam, आप books के examples लिख सकते हैं. You can just make a list of books वे कोई जैसे बुक है जिसमें कंसिस्टेंसी का है, या कोई बुक है जिसमें ऑनेस्टी के बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल्स हैं. ऐसे करके आप अपने बुक्स के 10 से 15 एग्जाम्पल्स लिख लीजिए कोई एक पेज में, विच विल मेक यू डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द रेस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स और एस्पिरेंट्स. सो बिल्डिंग हैबिट्स, तो यहाँ पे हम मेंशन कर सकते हैं द पावर ऑफ द हैबिट बाय चार्ल्स ज्यूहेग, विच एम्फसाइज द रोल ऑफ कंसिस्टेंसी इन हैबिट फॉर्मेशन. ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा पॉपुलर बुक्स हैं और आपको इसके एक्सर्प्ट्स मिल जाएंगे कहीं ना कहीं. सो द कोट हाईलाइट्स हाउ हैबिट्स आर फॉर्म्ड थ्रू कंसिस्टेंट रेपिटेशन ऑफ बिहेवियर. ओवर टाइम द ब्रेन बिकम्स accustomed to the routine and making the habit more ingrained and less reliant on the conscious effort. So it becomes a part of your subconscious, right? And then second importance of the consistency is reliability and trustworthiness. As we've already seen in the previous examples कि जैसे टाटा का एग्जाम्पल है, उनकी सेफ्टी मैटर्स में people have already trust over them. Or for Apple, who gives a quality both in hardware and software. So consistent individuals and entities are seen as reliable and trustworthy when people know what to expect from you or your actions. Right? This is crucial in personal relationships also, business dealings and professional interactions. And then consistency helps us to build an attitude which is never give up. So it helps us showing character strongly even after failing. So this is a very rare quality which many people don't possess. Like Elon Musk in his one of the speeches said, "I never give up." So his SpaceX, though failed many times, now has been aiming the moon and the stars, and you already know the space tourism or the satellite internet ambitions of SpaceX. Then Japan's rebuilding after the consequences of the atomic bomb. Then we come to ISRO, from cycle to the Mars or moon. So bicycle to failing Chandrayaan 2, still becoming first nation to land on the south pole of the moon. So this is a very, very great achievement by ISRO, making all of the Indians proud. Indian National Freedom Movement has also been a consistent effort from our freedom fighters. So why consistency is rare? So it requires an immense amount of mental energy and cognitive resources. For example, dieting and exercise. So बहुत ज़्यादा mental energy लगती है इनिशियली. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि कोई भी हैबिट बिल्ड करने में आपको प्रयत्न तो लगेंगे, right? Then consistent behavior is difficult to maintain for a prolonged period of time due to various external factors. For example, आपका इमोशनल स्टेट हो गया, या फिर कभी माइंड इतना पावरफुल नहीं होता, या फिर फिज़िकल ब्रेकडाउन्स हो जाते हैं, मेंटल ब्रेकडाउन्स हो जाते हैं, एक्सेट्रा. देयर आर मेनी थिंग्स दैट कैन deter you from being consistent. So had Buddha given up upon his meditation, he would never achieve nirvana. So again I'll quote a book here, that is Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. इनका एक बहुत famous statement है, 10,000 hours is a magic number of greatness. So the meaning behind this is, to be considered elite and truly experienced within a certain craft, you must consistently practice it for 10,000 hours. So ये 10,000 hours इन्होंने ही बताया है. And his books are really good, so you can, of course you have got a writer now, तो आप उनके 2-3 बुक्स देख सकते हैं जहाँ पे आप नोट डाउन कर लें कि इसका थीम क्या है. Then there is another problem कि consistency can be monotonous and exhausting. Like many people know that they pursuing their passion as a career requires consistent effort. उनको effort लगेगा, but then because they don't have this consistency or a lack of conviction, they may end up into 9 to 5 cycle, as most of us without options are, or we don't have the courage to work hard. So short-sightedness. Our environment is undergoing degradation due to lack of consistency in building sustainable products. Only a few players actually care about the environment, as the focus is upon the profits. So there is a short-sightedness कि हमको quick gratification चाहिए हर चीज़ में. So for example, Baiju's recent failure is quick gratification leading to flaws. So there could be many examples, many failed businesses or individuals who couldn't sustain due to lack of consistency because of their short-sightedness. उन्होंने long term का सोचा ही नहीं, and they failed terribly at what they were doing. So now we come to the antithesis after completing the thesis. Mind well कि आपका antithesis overpower ना करे thesis को. ये एक बहुत ही bullseye anti-argument होना चाहिए, right? While consistency is often valued for its role in reliability and habit formation, it is essential to recognize this. Excessive consistency may have an adverse effect. काफ़ी बार consistency में आपका improvement रुक जाता है. That is why it is very important to change or innovate. So excessive consistency may lead to resistance to change and innovation. It hinders growth and adaptability and flexibility. For example, business innovation में आप example दे सकते कोडैक का या नोकिया का, who rigidly adhered to established practices and processes, but they didn't evolve with the market, and that is why the products have been very less in demand. So education and learning. In the realm of education, strict adherence to standardized curricula and teaching methods can hinder students' ability to adapt to diverse learning styles and emerging educational trends. For example, schools that resist incorporating technology or innovation in teaching may not adequately prepare students for the demand of the modern world. For example, जैसे टेक आज के डेट में बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है. काफ़ी सारे स्कूल्स ने कोरोना में सफ़र किया है बिकॉज दे डिड नॉट हैव टेक्नोलॉजी टू कनेक्ट विद द स्टूडेंट्स. तो उनका एकेडमिक ईयर काफ़ी हैम्पर हुआ था, राइट. नाउ हेल्थ एंड फिटनेस, वी रीच टू अ प्लेट्यू फेज एंड हम डाइट कर रहे हैं या एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हैं तो उसके बेनिफिट्स रिड्यूस हो गए. तो हमें क्या करना है, कुछ नया रेजीम फॉलो करना है, राइट. सो वी नीड टू नो where to get a change, where to be flexible, where to be innovative, right. So now coming to the end again, government and policies. Nations or governments that adhere rigidly to the traditional practices without adapting to social changes and need a face resistance from the citizen. For example, मिडल ईस्ट में आपने देखा कि काफ़ी ज़्यादा वुमेन राइट्स को लेके कंटेंशंस हैं, या फिर कोई कंट्रीज़ में एनवायरमेंटल कंसर्न्स है बिकॉज उन्होंने ज़्यादा फार साइटेडनेस नहीं दिखाई, और हेल्थ केयर मेजर्स एज वी सी इन द कोरोना, क्यों अडेप्टेबल होना चाहिए था, और रादर दे वुड इम्प्रूव देमसेल्व्स, नॉट बीइंग कंसिस्टेंट और रेजिस्टेंट टू चेंजेस. Now personal relationships में, in interpersonal relationships, rigid consistency may lead to stagnation. For example, काफ़ी पेरेंट्स होते हैं जो अपने बच्चों को काफ़ी दबा के रखते हैं and their children cannot grow. You may pause and read the antithesis also. While consistency has its merits, it should not come at the cost of stagnation or resistance to change. Embracing change and being open to new approaches and ideas often lead to growth, innovation and better outcomes. So now we know that एक adaptability करना है, and दूसरा consistency भी दिखाना है हमें, तो हम इसका बनाएंगे एक synthesis, because as we know consistency is a rare of the rarest of human qualities. So एक synthesis होता है which will smoothly lead to your conclusion, and this is therefore known as a pre-conclusion, right? So we are making a balancing argument here. Now as we see, adaptive consistency is a concept that combines the principle of consistency and adaptability to create dynamic approach to decision making and behavior. It involves maintaining a core set of values, principles or goals while being flexible and adaptable to the methods, strategies or actions. So ये कैसे होगा? How will it enhance consistency? So by ensuring that underlying goals or principles remain relevant and achievable. Through what? Through evolving ourselves according to the situations. आज ये मेथड 1 हम यूज़ कर रहे हैं, बट देयर द सिचुएशन हैज़ चेंज, तो हमें मेथड 2 करना चाहिए, क्योंकि यहाँ पे मेथड 1 वुड बी इररेलेवेंट. सो ये कैसे करेंगे? सो इवैल्यूएशन से करेंगे. एक तो ऑब्जेक्टिवली देख लो सिचुएशंस को, न्यूट्रल देख लो, जैसे आप IAS ऑफिसर्स का एग्जांपल दे सकते हैं कि उन्हें पॉलिटिशियंस के इन्फ्लुएंस में नहीं आना है, बिकॉज वो चेंज होता ही रहेगा. सो दे हैव टू बी कंसिस्टेंट इन देयर जॉब्स. जो पब्लिक सर्विस का एम लेके आए हैं उसी में ही कंसिस्टेंट रहना है, ना कि कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज़ को फेवर करना है. देन identifying gaps and shortcomings, revisiting the original plan, reviewing or feedbacks from others or feedback mechanisms like students test लेते हैं तो उन्हें पता चलता है कौन सा सब्जेक्ट वीक है. We need to change our diet if it doesn't give the desired results, or upskilling ourselves, change the course or finding new ways to do it, right? So this is synthesis. Now coming to the conclusion. So in conclusion we'll just expand the idea. बहुत स्मूथ राइड देना है हमारे एवैल्यूएटर को कि जर्नी ख़त्म हो गई और पता भी नहीं चला. इट वॉज सो स्मूथ कि आपको रियलाइज़ ही नहीं हुआ कि ये चीज़ ख़त्म हो गई, बिकॉज वी वर एन्जॉइंग रीडिंग इट. इन द ग्रैंड हिस्ट्री ऑफ ह्यूमन एग्जिस्टेंस, consistency stands as a rarest and most precious thread. It weaves through the stories of remarkable individuals, resilient organizations, and enduring nations. It is that trait that propels us through adversity and guiding light that stirs us towards the loftiest goals. But only requirement is feedbacks, adaptability. So ultimately it is important to remain determined and adaptable. See, when faced with obstacles and setbacks, by taking a strategic or thorough approach, individuals can identify ways to overcome challenges and reach the intended outcomes. So उसके लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा? Flexibility in the path, being non-rigid and open to changes. So what remains consistent is your efforts, determination, and the ability to rise like a phoenix from the failures. So this is the conclusion, as you see. So thesis will be the majority of your part, then antithesis छोटा सा लिखेंगे as compared to thesis, and then synthesis, balancing of these two items, and then एक conclusion. ना आपने देखा कितना इंटरेस्टिंग था, because variety of dimensions were coming in the essays, and then we give various examples. बुक्स इंक्लूड करे थे हम लोगों ने, मूवीज़ इंक्लूड करा था. सबकी डेली लाइफ से बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स दिखते हैं. जैसे इंडिविजुअल्स के पर्सनल रिलेशनशिप्स किए थे, पेरेंटिंग के ऊपर किया था एक एग्जांपल. सो लाइक दैट यू डोंट नीड टू बी वेरी बुकिश विथ योर एग्जांपल्स, but then be aware of whatever is happening around you. That will give you a creativity and will make you different from your fellow aspirants. और एक भी पॉइंट अगर आपका बहुत ही क्लिक कर गया एवेल्यूएटर को, तो ही विल बी इम्प्रेस्ड बाय योर आंसर्स. सो लेट्स कंक्लूड today's lecture or the video. Thank you so much.